Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we're back with a whip and chat. Whip stands for work in progress. So get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is Friday here, and we're getting ready for the weekend, which means we're getting ready to bunker down. So this weekend we actually have a polar vortex coming through. So it is super cold where I live. So right now, currently when I woke up, it was -17 with a real feel of -35. And currently right now, it is -10. Our high for today is -8. Just to give you like a little spectrum of like the cold here. But the real feel right now is -40. I don't know how that works. But it's gotten colder, but the temp has gone up. I don't know. I just work here. Anyways, we're working on our newest piece coming in from Enablers Outpost. This is Celebration Roxy. This is a little 40 by 40 snack size kit. I am super excited about this kit, so I wanted to work on it with you guys today. So hopefully you got your project out and working with me. I also have my release papers from Crafts with Crashly. This is from the Caffeinated collection, which is my collection of art that has been turned into release papers over with Crashly. So if you haven't checked out her website, that is where I get my release papers from. And then my pen is from Enablers Outpost as well, as they are pen turners who have expanded their horizons and now sell the diamond paintings as well. So if you haven't checked out either of these companies, feel free to check them out. You're also going to see me using my pen from What You Got Wednesday we did not too long ago from Dynamite Diamond Shop, which used to be Lexi Lily Crafts. So yeah, so we got all kinds of stuff going on here. How you guys been? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. I do apologize. My schedule's been a little crazy because of sneak peeks coming in and some of them being late, and it knocks me off my schedule because I have to get those up at a certain time, and I don't like putting up multiple videos in one day. So I do apologize for like the crazy schedule. Patreons can tell you I literally have a schedule every week of how the week is supposed to go. And then something will happen where a sneak peek will come in late or something, and it knocks my entire schedule off balance. But I'm going to be getting back on balance, as I think I'm going to be taking a break from sneak peeks for a little bit, just for a little while, just to get myself back into the mode of being able to add some variety to the channel. Because my ADHD brain is like, look, listen, we love diamond paintings. We're loving this for us. But we also want to do some adult coloring and crocheting and all the fun things. So, yeah. So we're going to get some tutorials of crochet up and some revised tutorials of diamond painting and stuff as well. So I have schedules, I promise. It's not supposed to just be a bunch of unboxings. But when I have obligations to get up sneak peeks and then they show up late, it just kind of knocks me off schedule a little bit. So we're going to hopefully get back on track after me taking a short little hiatus from sneak peeks for a little bit. It's not going to be for too long, so don't worry. I know you guys like the unboxings. Let me just get my bearings, because right now my schedule's all kinds of cattywampus, which is why you're seeing a whip and chat on a Friday. It's been a crazy time here at the coffee house. So like, I'm just saying. How many of us are experiencing the cold polar vortex right now? So Friday, January 12th is the date that I'm recording this. And currently right now it is -15 degrees with a real feel of -40. It's super cold. And if you're wondering, are my kids in school? Yes. The kids will have school until it's a real feel of -50. So they did not have off school today. Plus they're inside a building that is heated. So they're fine. They're excited too, because we just got word that they'll be able to ride the school bus this year. So our district didn't have a busing system for the longest time. And this, right after winter break, they implemented a new busing system. They even have an app for it, so you can track where the bus is. And I thought that was really cool. So the kids will start riding the bus here in about a week. And I didn't know how to feel about this. I didn't really know how to feel about this because I've been taking my kids to school now for 6 years, coming up this June. The end of the school year would have been essentially 6 years. And so now that they're going to be riding the bus, it makes me a little sad, I'm not going to lie, because we would randomly go on excursions to go get ice cream or go to like the the clothing store to go get stuff, or go to the store to pick up dinner together. And if they ride the bus, we can't do that anymore. But it also does give me the freedom to be able to do more at the house here and not have to center my entire day around, what time are they going to get out of school. So it's bittersweet, but I'm super excited about it. And every day since Maggie brought home that paper, she's like, Mom, did you sign us up for the bus yet? And I'm like, Maggie, Mom. And she'll come to me with her little dinosaur mask. She has this cute little dinosaur mask that her gram got her for Christmas. It's a dinosaur mask that she's been bugging for since Halloween. And her gram finally got it for her. We got her one too, and it finally did show up. But it's nothing like the one gram got, so we like the one gram got better. But every day since she brought that paper home saying that, you know, if you want to sign your kid up for the bus, just go to this website and sign them up. And she would come home every day. Mom, you sign us up for the bus yet? Mom, you sign us up for the bus yet? And we've been seeing the bus coming in front of our house for since winter break was over. So winter break is when they were off for Christmas. They went back on the 3rd of January. And so they were just like, Maggie was just like, you know, she's excited. She's ready to ride the bus. Orion's excited and ready to ride the bus. When we lived in PA, they rode the bus. So it was very much of a culture shock for all of us that I had to pick them up and drop them off at school every day. But we've all learned to like it. And now we're about to go back to they ride the bus. And then they'll be getting dropped off here in front of the house, I'm hoping, because literally they have to pass my house to turn out of the complex. So I'm hoping that they will just drop them off in front of the house. If not, they can walk the short distance. They walk the cul-de-sac all the time anyway, so it's not like they're going to get lost. So I'm not too worried about that. Plus, especially since they're going to be riding the same bus, which is great because Orion's last 2 periods of class are over in Maggie's school, and so he can just take and walk through the school to get to his bus, and then Maggie should already be there to meet him. So it's going to work out perfectly for us. And then it gives me more time here at the house to be able to do stuff that I need to get done. Now, I get it done now with them being at school. It's not a big deal. But it'll just be nice to be able to kind of not have to center my entire day around, okay, I have to leave the house at this time because the kids get out of school at this time, and I need to make sure I'm at the school by this time. So it'll just be nice. So you're also going to see me marking my bags. So because these came in baggies, I'm extremely excited about that because I love me some baggies. But they have the number on them, which is the DMC number, and then you have the number on the legend that it is. But it doesn't have the symbol on it, which is fine because I can write it on there with a Sharpie, which is what I'm going to be doing. So I know what each symbol is. Now, there are no ABs in this kit, but there are shimmer drills. Shimmer drills are like the fairy dust drills from DAC. They have the glitter in them, but they're not on top of it, so it's not going to come off of the drill. So it's really nice. It's really nice. All right, so I have a couple of letter E's, but I have this one over here that's bothering me, right here. So we're going to fill that in real quick. So what canvas are you currently working on at this moment? So I would love to I would love to hear about the canvas that you're currently working on. Again, this one is a little 40 by 40, a little snack size painting. I love me a good snack size painting. And so that's why I was super excited when they were talking about making this one a snack size, because I love me a good snack size painting. Gives me a break from the bigger kits, and it's usually very much needed. So we love this for us. So we did all no, we haven't done the 8s yet, so we're going to do the 7s first, and then we'll do the 8s. So yeah, so because it's been so cold here, the dogs have gone back to wearing their boots outside. My dogs have to wear winter boots like the rest of the house because of how cold it gets, and I don't want to ruin their paw pads. The problem is Killian refuses to wear his boots, and when you put them on him, he will kick them off. And he doesn't just kick them off. He kicks them off at you to kind of like a, I don't want to wear these, stop putting these on me type thing. So he cops attitude after you put them on, and then he'll just come to you and start kicking his foot until he essentially kicks the entire boot off. And then you're just sitting there like, okay, I have a choice. Do I put the boot back on him for him to keep kicking it off at me? Or do I just leave it off and hope that he'll be okay outside? Typically, he's usually okay outside. I think Huskies are rated to like -60 or something like that. I forgot what the rating is for Huskies. But they love the cold weather. And of course, it has been a trial and tribulation to get this dog to come inside the last couple of days. Because the super cold, what he's doing is we'll go out to the dog park. Like yesterday, we went out to the dog park. Daisy went to the bathroom. She comes back to the gate immediately because it's not only just cold, it's also windy outside. So we're having like 35-mile-per-hour gusts yesterday, and it was just cold and windy and gross. And Killian was absolutely loving it. He's walking around with his head held high, tongue hanging out, just running around outside. And he comes over and he starts like trying to play with Daisy, but Daisy's like, look, listen, I'm not with it. This ain't it. This ain't it. So Daisy literally, like I said, she went to the bathroom and then she immediately went back to the gate and was like, I'm ready to go. So she pawed at the gate and looked at me and I was like, we gotta wait for we gotta wait for Killian to finish. Well, Killian's running around the dog park like a madman. And then I tell him to hurry up and go to the bathroom and he stops and looks at me all crazy. He stops and looks at me and then goes and jumps in a snow pile, like a random snowdrift pile that's kind of formed in the dog park. He jumps in it and then pokes his head up to look at me like I can't see him. I'm like, Killian, you're a husky, but you're not one of those huskies, dude. You're not a white husky. You're a black and white husky. And because you're a black and white husky, I can still see you. I'm like, I see you hiding. And then he would duck his head back down and then duck his head back up. And I'm like, you're still in the same spot, Killian. He'd duck his head down and duck back up. I'm like, Killian, I don't have time for this. I'm cold. Duck his head down, duck his head. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to walk over to the pile to go get him because I'm ready to go. Because at this point, I've been outside for 10 minutes. I can't feel my fingers and toes. It's time to go. Yes, I did have on gloves, but gloves and stuff only do so much out here. So, plus we were told, via our winter advisory to not be outside for too long because you run the risk of getting frostbite. So like in most places where you guys just get like amber alerts and stuff, we get like weather warning alerts where it's like the temperatures outside is so cold that they recommend that you don't go outside and stay outside for long periods of time as you run the risk of getting frostbite. So I'm trying to go in the house. Killian decides that he's playing Jack in the Box. And I run up to him to go get him. And he hops out real quick like a bunny. He just hops out real quick and then starts running down the field of where they're at the dog park. And I was like, I'm not doing this with you. Well, then he decides he doesn't want to be in the dog park anymore. He wants to run around outside of the dog park. So luckily this time he didn't jump the fence because he can and will jump the fence. He didn't jump the fence this time. This time, he was nice enough to just go over to the back gate, which, of course, is on the other side of this dog park. He goes to the back gate and pushes it open and then just walks out like he's a whole human and doesn't have to be on a leash when he's off his leash. And, of course, my neighbors probably think I'm insane because they just hear me outside yelling, Killian, get back in his house. Killian, what are you doing? So I finally go down there. I walk down there and I tell him to get back in the gate. And he looks at me. He gets all mad because he has to get back in the gate. So I'm like, get back in here. What are you doing? And so he gets back in the gate. He goes to the bathroom and we're finally able to leave. And Daisy had on her boots. And so she was ready to get out of the boots because the boots can't be too comfortable because they have Velcro on the inside. And what that does is there's 2 straps on the inside of these boots to keep the boots on. And then 2 straps on the outside of the boots as extra protection. So they have like all these straps on your foot. And she's a dog and not used to this. So she's like, yeah, we need to go. She's doing like that funny dog walk as they have the boots on. Meanwhile, Killian's out there living his best life. And I'm like, I'm not leaving you outside today because the neighbor's going to call animal control on you again. I have had animal control called on me at least 6 times since we've lived here. And what usually happens is if Killian is left outside because he refuses to come inside, he's a husky, he likes the cold. If he refuses to come inside, I will leave him on the porch while I get ready to go pick up the kids, if it's during the week. And he'll just sit on the porch. He's not messing with anything. He's not chasing after anybody or growling at anybody. Our UPS guy will come by and give him bones and stuff, like little bone treats. And So he's out there living his best life. Meanwhile, half the time I forget that he's out there, and I'll go to pull off, and he's still sitting on the porch looking at me like, hey, where are you going? And I'm like, why are you still out here? So then I'll have to go like shoo him into the house. But when you leave him outside and your neighbors see it, they get scared because, of course, Killian looks angry at all times. And so they keep calling animal control on me because I keep leaving my dog outside. And the lady is explaining to me how people probably think I'm neglecting him. And I'm like, it's clear as day that he's a husky. He's not neglected, okay? I promise you he's not neglected. I promise you he's just a butthole that doesn't want to go inside of the house, okay? And so, like, it's gotten to the point where we pretty much know the animal control folks. And, like, they'll come by and be like, you know, how's it going? I'm like, good. The dogs are, you know, in the house this time. And I'll just give them, like, a thumbs up, like, yeah, we're good. Let's see, 13, 12, 5. Where's it? There it is. So, yeah, the dogs are good. And then yesterday, I don't know how many of you have Ring doorbells, but I have quite a few around my house. And every once in a while, I'll have to change the batteries. Now, my batteries usually last about 2 months in the Ring doorbell. And we have, like, the solar recharger. But it doesn't help to have a solar recharger when you barely see the sun. I learned that from my Ring doorbell. I know it probably goes off, like, UV rays or something like that. But my Ring doorbell, yeah, no. Anyways. So, I'm sitting there yesterday, and I get the notification on my phone that the Ring doorbell needs to be changed. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's at like 21%, so I was like, I have time. So, that was like the second or third warning it gave me that the battery, because once it hits 20%, you'll start getting notifications that the battery needs changed. So, I piddled around for a couple of days with it, and then when I saw the notification, I pretended like it was the first time I saw it, and I was just like, oh, the battery needs changed? I feel like I just charged it. So I go grab the charger, and I keep the charger and the screwdriver because it has a special security screwdriver. I keep the screwdriver and stuff in the same cabinet at all times. Like, I make it a point to put it back where I found it as soon as I'm done using them, because I don't want to lose the screwdriver or the chargers, because it doesn't charge off a regular USB. It has its own little USB. And so I make it a point to put them back every time I use them. Well, I put them back last time. I grab them out of the cabinet yesterday, and I go to use them. All right, sorry about that. So I pull out my tools to go put to change the Ring doorbell's battery out front. And I noticed that my screwdriver is missing. And I'm like, wait, didn't I just have it in my hand? Like, you ever do that? Like, you have something in your hand, you set it down, you remember sitting it down, but then you go back and it's gone. And you're like, oh, where did I put it? So I had one of those moments, and I put it down on the TV stand, which is not too far from the door. I opened the door and went, oh, I don't have the screwdriver. Went to go back to the TV stand to get the screwdriver. It's gone. And I'm like, where could it have been? Like, I literally just put this thing down. Can't find it. Have no clue. And I'm like, okay, hello? Where did it go? So I start, like, frantically looking for that screwdriver all over this house. Still have yet to find it. As I'm looking for it, I'm getting frustrated because I'm wasting my entire afternoon looking for this screwdriver. And I'm like, where in the flip is this screwdriver? Like, I don't understand where it could have gotten off to. Meanwhile, as I'm looking, a little ferret head comes from around the couch. Now, I didn't realize it, but one of the kids had let the ferrets out. And I was like, wait, did you take the screwdriver? Now, typically my ferrets, they don't mess with cords. They don't, like, if you have a cord, like, plugged into something, they won't mess with it. They don't typically mess with anything that's not rubber. They love rubber. Anything rubber. So, like, Mr. Coffee, when he goes to the bathroom, they'll go into the bathroom and go, like, burrow into his pockets while he's sitting down. And they'll grab his headphones out of his pockets. And then they'll drag the headphone case, because the headphone case is made of silicone. And they love stuff like that. So, I'm sitting there. I need number 10 real quick. Number 10. There it is. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I see the ferret came from behind the couch. So, I start looking behind the couch. can't find the screwdriver. Meanwhile, I'll see one ferret as I'm looking for the screwdriver and then turn around and see the other ferret. And I'm like, wait. Now, depending on which ferret took it, depends on how hard it's going to be to locate. Because when Anna takes stuff, she has a certain place that she likes to stash it, which is either under her cage or under the couch. But when Gumball stashes things, we have one of those faux fireplaces. So it's like it's got like the glass, and then it shows kind of like what it looks like a set of logs on fire, and it's a heater. And so you plug it in, and it has like a heater that, you know, it has a heating element and stuff that you can use to heat up your house with. Gumball, when he steals stuff, he takes it behind that. Now, the problem for this is the fact that you have to move the entire TV to get to the back of that stand, okay? And so that's no easy task because the TV is also mounted onto the wall. So it's not mounted like up on the wall, but it's like anchored. There you go. It's not mounted, anchored onto the wall. So you have to unanchor it, then move it, and then have somebody hold the TV because the TV is wobblier than whenever you do exercise for the first time in 3 years and your legs feel like jelly. So the TV is super wobbly. And I'm like, okay, which one of y'all took it? Because since both of you are out, one of you had to have taken it. Y'all, I still have not found this freaking screwdriver. Luckily for me, I had an old screwdriver from the first Ring doorbell we had, and I was able to find that one to be able to change the battery and charge it and everything. But then the other problem with this is that it's so cold outside that the doorbell is frozen. First world problems, y'all. The doorbell is frozen. So even if we were going to use the doorbell, we can't because it's frozen. Once it hits like -10, yeah, no, it's shut down. It will not work. And I'm like, but it runs off Wi-Fi. I don't understand. The battery freezes. It's not working. So I was like, God dang it. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons why you're not hearing chiming in the background. So yeah, so one of the ferrets has stolen the screwdriver to the Ring doorbell. We're not sure which ferret took it. We've looked in all the hidey places that they normally have, minus behind the TV. And I know your first thought is probably behind the TV. The problem is, we can't see back there to actually know if it is. And if it is back there, we'll never see it again. I'm not moving that TV, especially not by myself or with just one of the kids helping me. No. That's Mr. Coffee's TV. I'm not messing with that. He can deal with that later. So, the ferrets are doing well. They're doing well. I still, like, Mr. Coffee found one of my shoes the other day when I was mentioning it on my stream. He found one of my shoes, but I literally had just bought a new pair of black and white slippers, and they stole one of those as well. And they have a new hidey stash. We just haven't figured out exactly where it is yet. And once we figure it out, I'm pretty sure half the stuff that we're missing, like Mr. Coffee is missing he's missing the spare key to his car. And what happened was he came home from work and he had the spare key on him for whatever reason. And I guess when he realized he had it on him, he went ahead and took it and put it where mine's is. And because then if one of us needs to drive the other one's car, we have the spare key here at the house. We don't typically take them with us wherever we're going for the day or whatever. And I can't really drive his car anyway, so that's kind of pointless, but whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, he's missing his spare key. I'm missing some shoes. Maggie's missing a couple of items. Orion isn't missing anything because Orion stays locked up in his room half the time. So he's not missing anything. But everybody's essentially missing stuff, and we have to find out and figure out where this new hidey hole is. So essentially, one of us has to follow the ferrets around for a little bit to figure out where exactly they're going. Like, I want to get them, like... Sorry, I didn't realize y'all are all cattywampus. I want to get them one of those, like, GoPro cameras and attach it to them just to see where exactly in the house they like to hide things. So, I'll let you know in a few weeks if we find those items. It's like a look and find for my house. So the ferrets are doing good. Maggie's still, unfortunately, dealing with teeth issues. We're waiting to hear back from this dentist who has taken a year and a day to review her x-rays to tell us what the next course of action is. The problem is, Maggie, the teeth that they're looking at and that they x-rayed, which they x-rayed all of her teeth, but two particular teeth that she should have lost by now that she hasn't. So what's happening is, you know how when your child gets a wiggly tooth and then the tooth will come out? Maggie's teeth will get wiggly and then they don't come out. And then what happens is because they're supposed to be out, they start rotting from the inside. And so all the problems she's having is because the infection and stuff that she was having in her teeth isn't coming from like lack of brushing or anything like that. It's coming from the fact that those teeth were supposed to come out and they never did, but they are acting as if they had. So they're going bad from the inside, which is right up on her nerve. And that's causing her a lot of pain and issues. So we're waiting to hear back from the dentist to see what they want to do next. Now, in the time that they've been waiting, the teeth have gotten wiggly again. The problem is Maggie won't sit still for us to pull them out. They've gotten wiggly to the point where they do that weird thing before they fall out where they start bleeding for no reason. And she refuses to let us pull it out because she's scared it's going to hurt, of course. And who wants to go through pain? She's already going through pain. But she, sorry, I started hyper-focusing. But she refuses to let us pull the teeth out, so it's causing her more pain than anything else. And she has about 8 baby teeth that she should have lost by now that are still in her mouth, and I'm thinking it's because they keep getting loose and then tightening back up. And you're probably wondering, that's not supposed to happen. It's not, but it is. And so I'm like, what do I do about that? Like, do I pull the tooth? Do I not pull the tooth? And she still has to have like surgery to correct the other tooth. But still, like, I don't really know what to do about that. So she's been, like, pretty much sleeping a lot. She doesn't want to eat a whole lot or anything. So, like, I called the dentist's office yesterday, and, of course, nobody answered. So I got to call back today to see if we can see about getting her in for another appointment because they have to do something. Like, we can't just sit around waiting for this doctor to get off his hind tail to check her records. Like, they got to start doing something because I'm tired of my baby being in pain. And it's not only causing her pain, but it's causing me a lot of anxiety because I don't like seeing her like this. And she's not the same happy-go-lucky kid because she's in pain all the time. So she's kind of like very, not lethargic, but like mopey, if you will. Which, who can blame her? Teeth pain freaking sucks. So, and there's nothing I can do about it besides give her Motrin and make her comfortable. So that makes me irritated because I don't want to make her comfortable. I want to make the pain go away. So Maggie's still kind of dealing with that. Sorry, I left my coffee cup on the table over there. And then Orion. Orion's been having a rough time. He's been having a rough go. So Orion is not used to getting in trouble a whole lot. But lately, Orion's been getting in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, dude, what is up with you? Like, why are you getting in so much trouble? And it's normal, like, kid stuff. Like, he got in trouble twice at school for having his phone out. Now, he's already been warned about the phone being out at school. So Mr. Coffee has it disabled during school hours where he can only call 911 or me and his dad. So now he doesn't have a reason to be on his phone because he can't do anything on it. The only thing he can do is message me or his dad. He can't do anything else on it. So I get a call from his teacher explaining to me the latest in the Orion won't put his phone away. And that's when we disabled it. Well, then last night after I finished stream, I hearing a bunch of, because Orion's room is directly above my office here. And so I'm hearing a lot of thumping and bumping. And I'm like, what the world is going on with Orion? Like, he should have been in bed like an hour ago. Why is he not in bed? So I go to sneak upstairs because you got to do that sneaky thing where you like kind of tiptoe to their room. But I have to go up all these stairs. So by the time I get up the stairs, I'm like, I don't even feel like going in there anymore. I just want to go lay down. So I get up the stairs and I'm like taking them like 2 at a time because I think that if I do that, I won't be as tired when I get to the top. So I get upstairs, but then the floor like kind of tells on you because even though we have carpet on our stairs and our upstairs, you can still hear the like creaking of the floor, and it's like the loudest thing because you have to go down the hallway to go to Orion's room. So it kind of echoes a little bit and it's like, and I'm like, oh my God, shut up, stop it. So I get to his room and And Orion's laying in bed watching TV. He goes, yes. And I was like, why are you still awake? And he goes, I don't know. I can't sleep. And I'm like, lay down. Well, before I leave, I started smelling something. And I'm like, now remember, Miss Coffee is a very paranoid person. Very, very paranoid person. So I start smelling something. And it's not like BO and dirty socks or anything like a normal teenager. I haven't hit that stage with him yet, where the BO thing has started, where I came to that realization that my little boy is no longer little, because now he smells like a grown man. Also, don't push your drills with your multi-placer. It's bad. As I push my drills with my multi-placer. But he no longer smells like a little kid anymore. Now he smells like, you know, a regular person. Like he has BO and all that other fun stuff. And we had to explain to him the changes of his body. Those are awkward conversations. But luckily my kids have had them for the most part. Like we've already had all of these discussions. So it's kind of like a refresher. Like, hey, make sure you're getting in the shower and scrubbing really good every day. And make sure you're, you know, with having curly hair, he can't wash it as much as most people. So, like, don't wash it too much or it'll get extremely dry. Make sure you're putting oil on your hair, stuff like that. Well, I start smelling something, and I'm like, what is that smell? And he goes, what smell? And I'm like, I don't know. It smells weird. I'm like, Orion, do you have a vape pen? And he goes, a vape pen? I was like, yes, like a vape pen, like what mommy uses. And I don't use a vape pen. But kids at these schools use vape pens. And so I was like, do you have a vape pen? Now, Ryan's a horrible liar. So, like, if he had one, I would have known about it because he sucks at lying. And I love that for me. It makes my life so much easier. Not that he lies anyways. He doesn't have diabetes like his sister. So, like, if I could just tell when she's lying, that'd be great. So I'm sitting there. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I start walking around his room looking for this smell, okay? And it smells like burnt something and like cigarette or weed smoke. Like when you pass somebody who just smoked weed and that smell that's on them. That's what it smelled like. And I was just like, okay, let me search for this thing because maybe he's gotten better at lying to us. So I start looking around his room for like any kind of remnants of a vape. And I would know because I vape. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I start looking in his dresser drawers. I look in his backpack. I look in his desk drawers. I look underneath his bed, underneath his pillow. He's looking at me sideways like, what the hell are you doing? And so I'm like, where is it? He's like, Mom, where's what? And I'm like, where's the vape pen? He goes, Mom, I don't have a vape pen. I'm like, Orion, where's the vape pen? I'm like, I can smell it. He goes, Mom, I don't know what you're smelling, but I don't have a vape pen. And I could tell he was telling the truth, but the smell in his room was saying otherwise. And I was like, there's something in here that is either burning or on fire, and I need to find it. So I'm sniffing around. Mr. Coffee happened to notice that I had been gone for a while, so he comes up and he goes, everything okay? And he goes, wait, why is he still awake? And I'm like, I don't know, talk to him. I don't know, ask him. He goes, what the hell is that smell? I'm like, it smells like weed, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I asked him for the vape pen, but he won't give it to me, so I'm looking for it. And he looks at Mr. Coffee, and he shrugs his shoulders. He goes, Dad, I don't have a vape pen. I don't even know where to get one of those. Am I even supposed to have one of those? And Mr. Coffee is like talking to him. He's like, no, you're not supposed to have one, but, you know, it does smell weird in here. Well, Mr. Coffee, he sits on the bed with Orion and is talking to Orion while I'm looking over stuff in his room. And I just see him go, what's that smell? Now, I'm thinking he's smelling Orion because I'm like, did you get a shower? Like, why? What is happening here? And I'm just like walking around his room gingerly, looking in places that, you know, a kid would hide something. Now, again, Orion's not a good liar, so I should have known that he wasn't lying to me. But there's just something in his room didn't smell right. And so I'm just, you know, grazing over his room trying to figure out what the hell this smell is. And then Mr. Coffee goes, I think I found the smell. And I'm thinking, please tell me it's not a vape pen. Please tell me I don't have to have the talk about why drugs are bad and sound like Mr. Mackey from South Park. I'm good. Drugs are bad. I'm good. So I was like, okay, all right. what's the smell? And he holds up this tube thing. Now, if y'all remember when we went to the Badlands, the kids got these heating pads, right? And if you don't know what these heating pads are, it's like a fabric that has beads and stuff in it that you can warm up. And warming them up, you can use them to keep yourself warm. Or if you have like aches and pains, you can use it for that. And he holds it up and he sniffs it and he goes, that's what you're smelling. He looks at Orion and he goes, how long have you been putting this in the microwave? Like not like how long, like since you got it, but how long time-wise do you put it in for? Now, the instructions that came with it said you're supposed to put it in for 1 to 2 minutes. This kid has been putting this thing in the microwave for 3 minutes every day. So essentially whatever's on the inside of it is burning and smells like it's burnt, and also smells like marijuana for some reason. I don't know why it smells like marijuana, but it does. And I'm like, oh, so that's what it is. And Mr. Coffee's like, yeah, that's what it is. The problem is he can't smell it because he's been smelling it for so long that I guess he's just desensitized to it. And I'm like, okay. And Orion's like, why would you think I'd have a vape pen? I'm not allowed to have one of those. Again, Orion's not a bad kid. He doesn't typically get in trouble. So I should have known that it was going to be something stupid like a heating pad. And so, yeah, it was a rough night. It was a rough night. And then when we come back downstairs, Maggie's downstairs. And I'm like, Maggie, why are you awake? Like, why are y'all still awake? I don't understand this. Because when they start riding the bus, one of the things I forgot to mention is that the bus comes around my house at 7 a.m. Right now, we're getting up at 6:45 to get them out of the house by 7:16 to get to school right at 7:30. Okay? So I'm like, wait, why are you downstairs? And she goes, my mouth was hurting. I want some Motrin. But Killian wanted to play. And I'm like, Killian wanted to play. And she has his tug of war rope. And Killian's just kind of side-eyeing me like, nah, homie, I didn't do this. She came downstairs messing with me. Well, she takes the tug of war rope and starts walking towards the kitchen with it, to which Killian then grabs it. And she, of course, like, oh, Killian's playing with me. Let me play with Killian. So she's trying to grab it away from Killian, and he's trying to grab it away from her because he wants his toy. And so eventually he got sick of it. Now, Maggie's only like 68 pounds. She's gained like 2 pounds. She's only like 68 pounds, right? And so essentially he went to go snatch it from her and she didn't let go. So you just see Maggie tumble over like a tall tower. She was just like, bloop. And I was like, Maggie. And she's like, Mom, he knocked me over. And I was just like, Maggie, leave Killian alone. Well, then she wouldn't let it go. And so he decided, okay, I'm just going to drag you then. So then he drug her to the kitchen and then just left her there. And I was just like, Maggie, can you please let go of the toy? And she's like, I just wanted to play with Killian. It is 11:30. Come get this medicine and go to bed. So we get her off the bed, get Orion settled back in bed, and me and Mr. Coffee are just kind of sitting there. And I was talking with Mr. Coffee because Mr. Coffee suffered a death in his family last night. And so I wanted to make sure that he was okay. And he's doing all right. His grandfather passed away last night. And where I didn't get to meet his grandfather in person. Well, technically his grandfather passed away yesterday morning. But I didn't get to meet his grandfather in person as they lived in Florida. But I did get to talk to him quite a few times, and he was a really nice guy. And so, like, my heart goes out to Mr. Coffee and his family because I know they're going through it right now. This was his dad's father. So, yeah. So, if y'all could keep Mr. Coffee and all your good thoughts and prayers, I'd appreciate it. But he's doing all right. He had his moment before I started streaming, and then he talked to his dad for a little bit. And then his friends wanted to distract him yesterday with some D&D. So they played D&D while I streamed. And then after stream, we just kind of sat and talked for a little bit before he played one of his other games and was like, okay, we should probably get to bed now because it's getting late. And then, of course, it had started snowing again. And only thing I could think of was, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not let it snow to the point where it adds more snow to the ground, because we literally just got the roads clear. Like, there's been enough traffic on the road that has broken up all the ice and stuff, and the roads are clear, but there's just snow like in the center lane or on the side. And so I was just really hoping that it wouldn't snow enough that we got a bunch of snow on the ground again. Because driving on ice, let me just tell you, driving on ice is not fun. I don't like it. And I cannot wait till these kids start riding the bus for this reason. So yeah. But, so everybody in the house is doing good. I'm doing good. I am starting to save up for our trip to Pennsylvania. I did get stuff put together, but because our postal service has been a little crazy with the weather, I haven't sent out anything that I need to send out just yet. So if you're waiting for something from me, there's a couple folks that are waiting for things from me. If you're waiting for something from me, I promise to have it out in the mail next week. This week just wasn't a good week because of the polar vortex. It shuts down the post office a lot of the times because their trucks and stuff don't have heaters. So, and then the carriers that walk shouldn't have to walk in negative 17 degrees to hand you a bill. Okay, that bill is not that important. Pay it online. So, yeah. But with that said, that is it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for coming to hang out with me while I get some work done on my Celebration Roxy. I'll be working on this some more tonight over on Twitch. So if you have not, again, joined us there, feel free to do so. We have a great time over there. We're going to do a whip parade on Saturday where we show off what everybody's working on. If you've never joined the Twitch platform, we, of course, will have like a short little mini tutorial on how to use things and work things and do all the things. So feel free to come over and come hang out with us while we work on this some more over on the Crafters Club. You take the Crafters Lounge over. I call it a Crafters Club now because we listen to like the hits from like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And we work on our diamond paintings and we just have a good time. So hopefully I will see you guys then. But with that said, please stay warm and stay safe in this polar vortex that you're currently going through. If you're going through the polar vortex like the rest of us, what is the temperature where you currently live? What is the temperature of where you currently live? Write that down in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the love you guys show me here on YouTube. We just recently hit 48,000 subscribers, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys so much. So thank you so much for the 48,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the love. Like I said, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from unboxings for a little bit just to get our schedule back into some kind of order, because right now it's just all kinds of crazy and cattywampus. So we're going to be taking a little break from sneak peeks for a little bit. But then when we come back, we'll come back nice and strong. So it's very important to take breaks sometimes when you need to get yourself together. So that's what we're going to be doing. And with that said, I'm going to try to get these last 4 drills on here. And of course, when you go to try to put those last ones on there, they want to be all crazy. So we're going to flip this one over. We're going to do it like this. But yes, typically my whip and chats are on Tuesdays, not Fridays. I just happen to do this one because you guys have been so patient with me with the unboxings. And when stuff comes in late, I have to get it up as soon as it comes in. So having to rearrange my schedule for it is another reason why we're just going to take a little bit of a break so we can kind of get back onto some kind of schedule. And then we'll figure out the rest as it comes in. So with that said, I must now bid you adieu. But not before reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets. Please stay safe. Always remember to be kind to others because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do. And always stay cool. And whether I see you in YouTube land or I see you on Twitch, either way, I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.